we're hanging out here on Country Music Minute. I'm Sam Johnson, and this is SaraBeth. We are hanging out here in Nashville, Tennessee for one of the biggest events of the year, CRS. How has your experience been so far?
It's always a lot of fun because everyone's in Nashville. So you have all these friends who live, honestly, I mean, not just throughout the U.S., but around the world, and they all come here for this weekend. So instead of me having to travel to everyone else, everyone comes here. So it's an amazing weekend. It's a lot of fun.
And you do, you perform a lot in the UK, so you probably get to see all your UK friends too, right?
I do. I saw some people last night. I've seen some people this morning. So it's amazing just to see people. It sounds weird to say home turf, but it is. You know, you get to hang out with them. You get to show them your favorite places, places you've talked about. You can meet up for coffee. You know, it's always a lot of fun to see friends from wherever, but the UK especially.
We can both call this home now. We've been here longer than a year. Yeah. So, when did your journey to Nashville really begin?
It was about 4 years ago. Actually, it was probably longer than 4 years ago, but I started just going back and forth. I lived in Texas. I wanted to stay in Texas, but when I started to get more and more work, more and more things happening here, it just made sense for me to move. So it was 4 years ago, actually right around this time, that a friend of mine happened to be moving here that I went to college with, and she was looking for a roommate, and I said, you know what, I'm taking the plunge. I'm just going to move to Nashville and make it full time.
And things happen for a reason. I had read somewhere that music was not your lifelong goal. We're glad it's been your lifelong goal because I love your music personally. What else would you have done?
I probably would have worked with kids. I taught in the Dominican Republic for 3 months after I graduated from Baylor, and I wasn't supposed to actually teach. I was just supposed to be a camp counselor, but I'm fluent in Spanish, so I ended up becoming a teacher when one of the teachers dropped out, and so that was a lot of fun. And so when I came back, I'm like, I need to do something with music, maybe with kids, and then I just thought, no, I'm really supposed to be doing music and my own music. And so yeah, that's probably what I'd be doing, or something with a nonprofit. So
have you ever recorded a song in Spanish?
I haven't, but I've thought a lot about it. And the organization I worked with in the Dominican Republic was called the Dream Project. And so the very first album I put out, the title track was called Possible. I thought that would be a really great song to record in Spanish just because, you know, it has such a great message and anything is possible, and especially for those kids in the Dominican Republic.
Cool. Well, you've been doing some exciting stuff here in Nashville. You've been on Nash FM for the 10-minute tune. How hard is it to come up with a song in 10 minutes?
It depends on how much sleep and coffee you've had. And some topics are just lately, so the 10-minute tune is something where, you know, it's listeners call in and it's things that are happening in the news. The problem with the news for the past couple months is it's been really political. Actually, I guess the past year, it's been really political. And so, you know, you're looking through all the trending topics and you're like, oh no, please don't try to call in and say that this is what you want to hear about. So that can be a challenge. But other than that, I like to write parody songs. So I wrote one about, you know, after the Super Bowl, Tom Brady's jersey went missing. So I wrote a parody to the Brady Bunch theme song called Tom Brady's Shirt. So it's just been fun stuff like that. But it's always a little bit stressful, and you just hope that you actually remember the words whenever you go in to sing it on the air.
So that something comes out. Well, I saw the one about the Girl Scout cookies, and you're kind of going on a Girl Scout cookie tour. I think you go to San Diego March 19th?
Yes, you're right.
What is your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Well, so there's different, depending on where you are in the country, there's different names. I really love Thin Mints, so that's universal. But the tag-alongs, so the ones that are like the, you know, peanut butter and shortbread with chocolate covering, those are pretty darn good too. Anything with peanut butter.
I'm a Samoa girl. Samoa's all the way. Anything with coconut is my favorite. Yeah. Well, you have a new single out, I Want It That Way, right?
Yes.
Off your latest EP. Tell us a little bit about that song.
So obviously the Backstreet Boys were the original people to cover it, but or to sing it. But last St. Patrick's Day, I went out with some friends to hear a friend play. He has a great covers band, and they were covering some boy band songs, and we were looking for a fifth song. We wanted a slower song to put on the Full Speed Ahead EP, and on St. Patrick's Day, listening to the cover band, we're like, I Want It That Way. This is amazing. We need to cover this song. Like, we can put fiddle and steel on it. It's going to be awesome. Put a ton of harmonies in it. And so now it's out, and it's going to be my next single.
That's awesome. So I take it you were more of a Backstreet Boys fan than NSYNC back in the day?
I don't know which one I was a bigger fan of. I mean, I love the Backstreet Boys, and it's super cool because they've actually been doing, I mean, before I recorded it, they hadn't kind of done some stuff with country music, but it's cool to see them now actually kind of doing some things in the country genre. So that wasn't planned. That wasn't something I knew was going to happen, but it's neat to see that happening now.
Well, what's next for you this year other than new music?
A lot of tour dates. There's some really exciting stuff. We're doing a show with Eli Young Band here in a few weeks, which is going to be super exciting back in my home state of Texas. And then a lot of Girl Scout stuff, like you were saying. I've never thought that I would have such success with a song called Girl Scout Cookie Monster, but they love it. And so it's been so much fun. It's totally different. You know, you're used to playing like bars and clubs, and now the demographic is Girl Scouts, and it's so fun. You know, they get so excited, and to see them like really embracing my music it was totally unexpected. It wasn't planned, but those are the best things.
Kids make everything so much better, right? Yes. Thank you, SaraBeth. We're here with SaraBeth on Country Music Minute. Y'all go check out her new single, I Want It That Way. And I'll let you plug your socials if that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine. You can find me everywhere. SaraBeth TX is that's Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. And then at SB Swags on Twitter. I'm SaraBeth, and you're watching Country Music Minute.